Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today's video is about a very nice guy that I met at the YouTube Golf Day. So the YouTube Golf Day was last month, and I got put in a group with Joe from Open Stance Golf. So you might have seen him on Instagram. Really nice guy, but very new to the game. So 21 handicap, and I said send me swing across and I would do a video on it. So here we are. So Joe sent me a nice little bio, and I'm going to play some of the clips in this video. And two things came up. Something in the swing itself, which I think a new golfer or like a higher handicap could really benefit from. And then there was something that is not swing related. So
hi,
let's
Joe
get it.
from Open Stance Golf. Yeah, strengths and weaknesses. So my irons, probably say that my actual ball striking with my irons is actually like decent, considering handicap, I guess. My big issue is the kind of control of my club face. I think that's probably what causes a lot of my issues in terms of my shot shapes. At the moment, my bad shot with my irons is definitely quite a big pull. It's one that I've kind of adapted to, so I've now adapted my game to that shot. So I will actively aim right of target. But then again, on the range, I can control that, and to be quite honest, I have no idea why. Driver. There's not a lot of good to say about my driver. It's so erratic. My miss can be anywhere from a massive slice to a really low hook. Not sure what to say about that. I went through a phase of not really using my driver for that reason, because it was so erratic, and I didn't have a miss. It was just crap. But it's back in my bag, and I'm keen to work on it.
When I look at Joe's setup, so the setup, I feel it's not bad. And Joe had a background in rowing, so very strong guy. I just feel like he's a bit too upright. And if you kind of look at his spine angle, we've got a little bit of kind of rounding, a little bit of C posture. This isn't bad, but for somebody who is as athletic as Joe, I feel like we could make a slight change, and there's actually things further on in the swing which I think that's going to help. So let's get up to the top of Joe's swing, and when we get to the top, Joe has quite a short swing. It's like a 3/4 swing. You need to be powerful, in my opinion, to kind of really make a short swing work. Joe ticks that box. So I really like his positioning, but feel like if he actually started a bit more tilted over, this positioning would actually look a bit higher. So I feel like it's almost a little bit behind him too much, and his arms are a bit too much onto his body. I think if you actually go back to the start and you go, well, if he's here, if he was bent over a bit more, then let's go, so we're kind of a bit more bent over here. I think that would create a bit more space, but then when you go to the top of his swing, what would happen is the arm itself would be a bit higher. So the arm would be a bit more here, and then hopefully that would let the trail arm kind of leave his body a little bit. So there's no actual positional problem with his top of the backswing position. I just feel like a small setup change would make it just a little more functional. Then we get into the best part of Joe's swing. And this is something that I think is so important. Sasho McKenzie, a really good biomechanist, kind of looked at this a few years ago, and it's really, so I'm going to play it down, kind of trying to work out where his hands are moving. I'm going to draw a line in. And then what I'm looking for is, as the hands work down, does the club head work in behind? And you'll see with Joe, definitely. So that is a big plus. And you'll see he's in quite a deep position. Again, something that is really, really good. But what did Joe say about his swing? And I saw this actually on the YouTube Golf Day. Slices with the driver, big pulls. Joe kind of called it a hook, but he was actually hitting some straight pulls, you know, not much curvature, straight out to the left. I think this is the reason, and I think this is the bit that you can learn from, is if we go to the top, and I'm now going to draw the line down here, kind of across his knee, and then when you go down, can you see Joe's knee really flying out? What that does, and especially combined with his setup position, like starting quite close to the ball, has no room to deliver the club from the inside. So you need to understand that the plane of the golf swing and the path that is delivered aren't necessarily the same thing. So Joe does great to load the club in transition and give himself the best chance to make a really good contact. But because he kind of swallows that room, that contact from the inside is going to be a little more difficult. And by kicking the knee out, what I feel happens is it means he then has to swing to the left. So what I would be asking Joe to do is, the big one for me is actually changing his setup. Then it's going, can we change the transition in order to make a better contact? I'm actually going to do an additional video. So there's a drill that I'm going to prescribe to Joe. That will probably hit the channel tomorrow. So like and subscribe and wait for that drill, because I think the transition is a really big thing that could help Joe. But yeah, that leg kicking out takes away the room. Joe's saying, well, I'm pretty good with irons, but I can't or struggle with driver. Obviously, the longer shaft means the less room you've got. Put a longer shaft into that equation, gonna have problems. So I feel that is the problem with Joe's swing, but I don't want to sound too negative because he's a new golfer and there's so much good in there. I think he does the hard bits well. But going on to that leads nicely into my second point, and I think this is a massive one.
I think one other thing, not to sound big-headed or anything, but I'm quite a big guy, I'm quite athletic. When I do connect with the ball, I can hit it quite far, but because I kind of feel like I have to play within myself because of these issues that I have, I think I've lost a lot of distance having to rein everything in. So if I'm really going for a driver, I know it's going to slice and slice quite badly. But if I hit it well and it goes straight, then I can hit quite a good drive. And same with my irons. I can quite easily get some good distances out of my irons because of the way I strike them and the swing speed that I can generate. But because I know that I've got what can end up being quite a bad miss, quite a big pull, when I do get it wrong, I tend to swing within myself quite a lot, probably more than I should be. But yeah, help me, Steve. You're my only hope.
Joe says he hits the ball far, and he kind of says it like a bit bashful. He's a really strong guy, and I used to give a lot of lessons to like people that were coming out of football. So they have played football into their like 30s, mid-30s, and then they take golf up. They have the power, and a lot of the time, if you've played a different sport, you have the sequencing that's required to hit the ball far. So it's no surprise to me that Joe can hit the ball far, but he makes a comment, and I think this really puts a ceiling on a new golfer's like ability to get better, and actually puts a ceiling on how good you can actually get, is when you're new and you're strong, the likelihood is you're gonna hit the odd wayward golf shot. Don't, and I'm going to repeat this, please don't go, well, as I'm hitting it so wayward, I'm just going to try and dial down my power to keep it in play. if you dial down the power, there's less energy in the ball, so yes, it's going to be easier to keep it within the confines of the golf course. But I promise you, if that's what you do, you're not actually allowing yourself to be as good as you possibly could be. Understand, golf is a pretty tough game. It's a great game, but it is a tough game. And if you've got power, learn to harness it. So I would rather, especially on the driving range, I would rather you were just having fun and trying to send the driver a long way. Because like in Joe's case here, he does a great transition move. So if he can get his legs out the way and a small change in the setup, he's going to be able to hit the ball absolutely miles. If he goes, well, I'm not going to make the change, I'm just going to dial down, yes, it might appear you're going to be better, but is it actually that much better long term? So Joe has got a great golf swing, and I hope the couple points I've made here have been helpful. And get on the channel, there's going to be a drill tomorrow to talk about how he can make that space. So I know I haven't added it here, I don't want to put too much in or it will get a little confusing. This game can be confusing enough, but don't let it overwhelm. If you're going to try and hit it far, you'll learn how to control it, and then you will enjoy this game even more. So thank you, Joe, for sending your swing across. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope the drill tomorrow will really give you something to work on so you can have a great summer and get that handicap down. 21 is too high for you, young man. Check him out on Instagram as well, Open Stance Golf. Hope to catch you soon.